Hello and welcome to our live demo today on how to build high converting landing pages for your Google Ads and maximize ROI. I am Bhavisha Oza, your host for the next 30 minutes. As an ROI focused marketer, you realize the importance of having custom landing pages that map to each keyword you are bidding for on Google Ads. However, creating custom landing pages and updating them at scale is challenging. We hope you walk away from this webinar with some cool tips and tricks for building high converting landing pages. And we have a special offer today for attendees, so do stick around till the end. This webinar is designed to be interactive, so please submit your questions in the Q&A window at any time, and we will address them in the last 10 minutes. Also, this webinar is being recorded and you will get a link to the recording by the end of the week. And now, a quick intro to our presenter, Tyson Quick. Tyson is the founder and chief growth officer at Instapage. He strives to solve the biggest challenge in digital advertising to improve return on ad spend. Without further ado, over to you, Tyson.
Alrighty, thank you, Babisha. And today I'm really excited to be talking to all of you. We had over 600 people sign up for this webinar, so it's my pleasure to be able to speak to all of you. So let's go ahead and jump in. And before I do, I will remind you again, please do ask your questions. I love taking people's questions at the end. I think it's probably my favorite part. I'm looking forward to those questions, and I will answer them at the end, but at any point along the way, please do ask them. So let's talk about first kind of framing this conversation, right? In the past decade, companies have wasted 96% of their direct response digital advertising investments, right? That has produced a near $1 trillion, an $870 billion loss over the past decade. Right now, of course, we know it's fueled the business models of Facebook and Google, and they've become trillion-dollar companies, but we have collectively wasted a substantial amount of money due to lack of conversion, right? But the most successful advertisers have reinvented themselves away from what we call this get more clicks mentality, right? This obsession, this focus on getting more clicks. And who among those companies have not fallen victim, right? Well, the companies who haven't fallen victim aren't investing the industry average of only $2 for every $100 on the post-click stage, right? The place that actually turns traffic into value, right? So today, the average company or business is spending, for every $100 is spending about $98 and only putting about $2 in what happens after, right? So to put this in a context, these companies who are not doing this, they understand that ad to page relevancy delivers measurable return on ad spend in a couple of important and provable ways. The first one, of course, is our bread and butter, which is increased conversion rate, right? And these companies see lifts as high as 90% by focusing on ad to page relevancy that continues the story of value from ad to page. Now, the second one that is oftenly overlooked is decreased cost per click, right? Because you can see over here on the right, as your quality score goes up, the discount rate you get for clicks goes up as well, right? Because Google will reward you for relevancy because it reinforces their business model. So you're both saving money on the click while also getting more conversions in the back end. And then, of course, this is true for Facebook as well. Now, so let's just put this into perspective, right? It is kind of this common sense thing that, despite it being common sense, it's important to kind of frame it in our minds, right? Increased relevancy and higher quality scores looks like this. Typically, most companies will have a campaign in their ad network, and then they'll have ad groups, right? Ad groups help us separate keywords or interest groups, and then they send most of those ad groups, by and large, to a singular destination per campaign. Whereas over here on the right, you are better suited to have a one-to-one experience, at least at the ad group or audience level, right? And it doesn't mean just swapping the headline or doing something minuscule. It does truly mean continue the story, the narrative from the ad all the way through to the conversion event, right? How are you continuing the message, the story, in a way that adds value to that unique audience, okay? So let's go ahead and visualize the difference here, right? Instead of going to a homepage or to kind of a generic website page, this is an example of a fantastic use of ad to page relevancy where I search for mobile point of sale system. I get an ad from Square that says free point of sale system. It has some more details in the description. And then I land here on this single purpose dedicated narrative that is singularly focused on continuing that story. There is no navigation links other than the call to action. The headline matches the expectations I had. It's telling me to try the free point of sale software that businesses love. And then it continues that story throughout the page, right? It's the easiest way to accept payments to run a business. And it will continue to go over the benefits and the differentiation. Now, if you go to Square's website or even a general product page, it's going to feel very different. It's very just focused on small businesses and everything that they do, and is much more distracting. And so the chances that they are going to succeed there in one of two ways are both, again, conversions and increasing quality to lower cost per clicks goes up dramatically. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the Instapage product and show you some of the functionality of how we go about fulfilling a campaign to be successful. And the first product that we'll talk about is a unique product that we created called Admap. And Admap, specifically for Google Ads, is a way to visualize your ad campaigns so that you can effortlessly connect your ads to these relevant experiences in a visual way, right? And from a singular app without having to go back and forth. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in here. The first thing that you'll see is we have this post-click score that kind of gives you a perspective on how many ads you have versus how many experiences you have. And then I'm going to want to go ahead and increase this. So I'm going to go to increase conversion rates. And this is going to take me to Admap here. Now, Admap, again, is synced to this particular ad account. And it's going to show me all of my campaigns. And so I'm going to scroll through and say, okay, what campaigns are currently running here? We have some competitive campaigns. This is one that's, in market priority. So I'm going to go to that because it has $12,000 in ad spend. Now, once I click on that campaign, I'm going to see the ad groups over here on the right, and then I can kind of prioritize these. I can see the keywords. And so I can kind of get a general sense of what people are searching. Now, if I want to understand more, I can actually go to, okay, well, let's see what exactly is being shown here on the software one, right? So I'll click that and it will pull up all of the keywords that I have and the clicks that I'm getting. So I can say, okay, most people are generally searching the software, best software, software for landing pages. Okay, so I'm going to ask myself, what is unique about someone searching for software versus someone searching like a builder? Okay. And then based on those conclusions, I'm going to form my message to be more sophisticated for that particular user. And all I have to do here is then add an experience for all the ads. Now, if I don't want to add them individually for the ads, but rather I want to add it to all of the ads within that ad network, all I have to do is hit bulk connect. And then I can come here and I'm going to select all of the ads here. Because again, there's not massive differentiation, or maybe I don't have the time yet. You want to start with something that's going to improve it without jumping all the way into the most granular thing you can possibly do. I might do that later. And I'm going to hit add an experience. Now it's as easy as selecting one that I've already created or creating a new one, right? So I might come in here and say, well, I don't have a page, so I'm actually going to create a new one, right? And I might want to duplicate a page to give me a place to start because I don't want to start from scratch. I don't have a ton of time. So I'm going to hit duplicate an existing one. And I might come here and I might search for something that's talking about software. So let's go ahead and type in software. Actually, I think I need to come here. Forget where this one is at. Well, for all intents and purposes, we'll just go ahead and select one right now. And I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate it. Okay. And now I have this duplication and I want to go and start editing it. So that brings me to the building part. Now, if I come back over here, let's talk a little bit about the landing page builder, the experience builder aspect, okay? Now, the builder is its own dedicated product that, of course, is the cornerstone of what has made Instapage the #1 landing page builder in the space for the last couple of years, because it has built-in collaboration, it has Instablocks, it's Google accelerated mobile pages ready, has 500 layouts, and what we believe is the best user experience by far, as well as things like global blocks. So let's go in here and look at what we have here. Now, you'll see that this is quite simple, right? Because we believe that relevancy is the key to success. And of course, if you're going to have relevancy at scale, things need to be hyper scalable and super fast. So I might want to come in here and say, well, I'm going to edit this for the software category. It's a duplicate of another one. So you'll see I have this global block here. And instead of editing this global block, I'm going to disconnect it from the global block because this section I do want to make unique. So I'm going to disconnect that. Now, I'm going to come here and, of course, start writing a narrative about the software, right? We might say that Instapage is the #1, is the most powerful landing page software, and here's why, right? Something like that. Now, sometimes I don't want to recreate from scratch, right? I want to move fast. So we have this functionality that we've had for quite some time called Instablocks, where I can come in here and I can choose what context I'm trying to create here. And I might want to have a checklist. What makes us the best, right? So I'm going to insert that in, okay? And I don't have to go and redesign that. I can just start going in here now and adding value, okay? Now, some of the other things that make the builder incredibly fast is the global block. So how do you create a global block? I might want to make it so this section, for example, I don't change it. I just want it across all 1,000 of my landing pages, because that would be crazy to go in and create this 1,000 times. So if I wanted to make, say, the one we just created a global block so I can reuse it and find it later, all I have to do is save as a global block. And I'll name this benefits bullet points, okay? And now, when I want to add this on other landing pages, because this is a section that maybe if I change the benefits here, I maybe run an experiment and I change it, it's going to update globally across them. So now I'm going to insert a block and I'm going to go to global blocks here, okay? And now I'll see the one I just added, benefits bullet points. So I could insert that in, all right? And again, once I change that, once I edit that global block, it would be synced across all of my pages. So we see about 50% of blocks should be reused. And then 50% are probably going to be unique to that ad group, okay? So let's assume that I went and I did a lot. We could talk about the builder all day. I won't. I'll show one last thing, and that is my blocks. Now, not every block has to be a global block. You might want to create a block, a template, and you want to go to your blocks. So I can come in here and I have this client logos folder, and I'm just going to go ahead and insert that in, right? And now, there we go. So any block can also be saved as an individual block template that can be reused, right? So those are some of the things that have made our solution very scalable. And the last thing that I'll show in the builder stage is a whole collaboration functionality. So I'm actually going to skip ahead here to the collaboration, and let's go ahead and show you that. So of course, there's times when I want to collaborate with an agency or my designer or my copywriter, and I don't want to have to go into a separate Asana or project management tool. So I'm just going to hit comment here, and I'm not an illustrator, I'm not a copywriter, so I just kind of created the layout, right? And I'm going to go in and I'm going to start asking people to do things. I'll say, hey, Rafo, you know what I mean? Select Rafo, please update this headline to match the context of landing page software. Now I already did that. So that's going to go send him a notification in his email, and he's going to go and update this on page. I might come in here and say, hey, Chris, please update this image to represent software rather than the templates. right? So I can just go in here and mark this up. They can come in here in real time and communicate to me, and I don't have to go again back and forth and create a whole project management separate away from this product to go and make changes. Okay. And I can go ahead and share that out. Just grab a link, maybe post it to them in Slack or whatever you use there. And this we found speeds up page development by magnitudes. And again, the key here is scale, because scale is the key in order to increase relevancy so we can get those lower cost per clicks and we can increase conversions. Okay. So taking a step back, there's a couple other aspects. The one part I missed here on the page construction or the operational stage of a page. And so let's come back to this. Let's go ahead and save it. And we're going to go out. Well, before we go, we're going to check the mobile version. The mobile version is looking great, right? So I'm going to go ahead and exit the builder. Okay. And this now brings me to my landing pages view, where I like to keep things organized in folders. And I believe we added this one in here somewhere, right here. And before I go ahead and launch this, we're going to do some other setups. We might set up our integrations, pixels, form integrations, etc. And I'm going to go ahead and define my conversion goal. I want to track, clicks on the demo link. So I'm going to save that. Very, very easy stuff. And then, of course, when I'm ready, I'm going to hit publish. Okay. Now you have a number of publishing options to deploy quick. You can publish to a custom domain, WordPress, but because today is a demo, I'm just going to say, September demo, right? And then I'm going to hit publish. And just like that, my page is now live. I am going to change the name so we can more easily find it. So once that publishes, okay, let's go back and I'm going to change that name really quick. Okay, rename, and I'm going to say landing page software demo. Okay, so now I've created my page. I've chosen which one I want to, what ad group I want to match it to. So of course I can go back to Admap and I can go through that whole setup again. And then I would just go and select that one and it would be pushed back to my my ads that are already live in my Google Ads account. Okay, so now I've chosen an ad group. I've created a landing page. I've scaled really quickly with blocks. Now, of course, I might want to run some experiments. Okay, and of course, I've collaborated with my team. So let's talk about when and how to use experiments. Okay, experiments are something that we tend to use when we're trying to figure out the best baseline before we personalize. Okay, so we might say, well, let's try a couple specific things. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go to experiments. Okay, and we're going to go and find that. We're going to go find that page. So I think it was in here. And then we had the software. I think that was the demo. There it is. And we're gonna grab that one and we're gonna create an experiment really quick. And I want to show you all how fast it is to go test an assumption. Now, when I do create it, I want to create maybe a shorter page versus a longer page. So I'm going to say landing page software, short versus long. And I'm going to say the shorter page increases form our button clicks, but produces lower quality prospects or whatever. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and select that experience. So I'll go find the page again. Here it is. And let's go ahead and create it. So that has created my control. Okay. And I'm going to want to create this test. So let's go ahead and duplicate this page, or I could create a completely different template and we'll say shorter page. Okay. We do like to test more robust things. So now I've created a shorter page. I'm going to go edit it. And then I might just go pick which sections I believe are most useful to conveying my pitch. So I might say, you know what? I don't need all of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Let's just delete some of these. We're going to create this shorter page. It's really this easy. And then we'll keep the testimonial. And let's go ahead and maybe just to make this really different, let's go ahead and kill this section too. Okay. So it's quite short now. So I'm going to go ahead and preview that. See this shorter page. Okay. So here's my shorter page. Okay. still gets the message across. So I'm going to go ahead and save and continue, right? Because now we're in the experiment phase. So now here we go. It is ready. I don't need to republish it. I'm going to split evenly. Or I could say, you know what, I actually don't want to do that. I want to send most traffic to here. And then we'll send 40% of the traffic here. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do is start my experiment. Okay. And now that experiment is automatically going to be showing the two different versions. So let's actually load these versions. So here's the first one. Again, much longer, a lot more details. And then over here, again, the one we just saw, less details, straight to the point. Okay. Now, at any time, let's get out of that. At any time, I can go back to my experiments and I can go find tests that are running. So you see this is now running, and I can come in here and I'll be able to watch the progress over time. So we like to isolate and create dedicated products rather than trying to lump everything all into one area so we can really control our optimization. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about today is, before we open it up to questions, so please do keep asking those questions. We want to talk about personalization. So personalization comes in one of two forms. The first one is Admap. Admap kind of is a way of creating personalization for ad groups. And a better word for personalization is relevancy, right? We're trying to make things relevant to as granular as an audience as we can. So if I am using Admap, I am already creating a more relevant personalized experience, but I might also want to create one-off personalization for various tests or various campaigns. Maybe I'm running a specific a Facebook campaign and I don't have Google Admap for it, and I can create an experience here. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go find that again, and I'm going to get that demo. And we're going to name this for females or for SMBs. Okay, this is a different segment for us. And it's going to go ahead and grab that. Now, here's my default experience right here. It's already live. Okay. So here it is. So actually, let's keep that open. Let it load almost instantly. And then let's go ahead and now edit this experience for SMBs. Okay. So then again, I'm going to ask myself, what is different about an SMB versus my other traffic? Maybe I'm targeting enterprise companies in a different category, and now I'm doing SMB. So, does SMBs relate to eBay and Verizon? Probably not. So I might come in here, and if I had a client logos for SMBs, I would go add my SMB logos, right? Something that they might better relate to. And then what things are matter to SMBs? So our company should know, what do SMBs value? They might value the building because they have a lack of resources, versus an enterprise who might care more about heat maps and these things, right? If it's enterprise, I might have a demo request. If it's SMB, I might have a sign up now. So I might come here and say, actually, for this audience, I'm going to have sign up now, right? So I'm going to say, start a free trial. Okay. So it really depends on who your audience is. I'm going to apply those changes, and that is a global block, right? So I didn't detach it in this case, which I should have, because it was a personalized one, and that's it. So I'm going to hit save on that. And maybe just to make the point even more clear, let's go ahead and delete that. Now we'll save. And it was really that easy to go and create these different experiences. Now I'm going to hit publish. And publishing doesn't work quite the same, because I don't need to create a new URL. I just want to generate a unique parameter, right? And so this automatically generates it here, this ID based on the naming of SMBs. Or I can generate a UTM parameter. So you can build your UTMs right here, grab that UTM link and go paste it wherever you want. You might be running a particular email campaign and you want to put it in there. So let's go ahead and just grab this automatic parameter that we create, and let's confirm. And just like that, I now have a unique personalized experience as a segment off of my baseline page. So that is now live. And to show you the difference here, so let's go back and look at this one, why that publishes to the server. So I have my logos here, I have my two buttons, and now over here, I don't have those logos and I have a different button. Okay. So it's really, really that easy to go in. Now, if I would have created blocks and saved them, and I have SMB blocks or enterprise blocks or mid-market blocks, I can go and build out pages even faster, right? So I might have my designers go build me a bunch of blocks, and then I just go plug, 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 and then publish, Now I have unique experience, and Google's going to love it. Facebook's going to love it from a relevancy score. They're going to lower my cost per clicks. And then, of course, conversions will go up as well. So it really is that easy. The point here is to make building and deploying personalized experiences as fast as it is to create the ads themselves. Okay. So we can move more of our budget away from just driving clicks and now driving conversions. All right. So to wrap things up, we talked about personalization. I will mention a few last things. We have a couple more key functionalities. We have the Google AMP. So if I wanted to create a AMP experience, okay, I could come here and these pages load almost instantly. And I would create one right here and just say AMP demo. Okay. Now these also have blocks and everything prepared for it. So let's go ahead and view that really quick. And actually, I'm just going to publish it. Let's actually go in here, edit that. And I just want to create like one example here. So let's go ahead and go to block templates and let's go to headers. So let's go to header. Again, you have a search function. Let it find it. So let's just go ahead and insert that in and we'll pop it in. Okay. Now I'm going to save and I'm going to go out. Let's validate it. This is going to validate it. It's AMP ready. Great. Now let's exit. And let's publish this really quick because I do want to show you this. And we can do here. Let's just do it off of here and say AMP demo. Hopefully this works. It might, the domain might not be set up all the way. Yeah, something went wrong. So anyways, those pages load literally a fraction of a second and you can't even see the difference. And of course, with the Thor render engine, other pages move incredibly fast as well because speed matters. So if I click on that here, you'll notice that the entire page loads in also, a second or two at max. That prevents bounce rates, that increases your quality scores, and of course, boosts conversion. And then of course, the last thing is we do have other specific unique features to Instapage like multi-step forms and behavioral insights in terms of scroll depth and heat maps, really useful to determine what to test in the first place. So with that being said, I want to mention one last thing before we open up to questions. We're at 25 minutes. We are offering a special offer for the month of September that anyone who signs up to the converting plan that has basically all of our functionality, the best customer success, and some basic conversion services, we are giving the first month away for free. And so that value is anywhere from $1,000 and up in free value. And if you're interested and you haven't considered it yet, then I think September would be a good month to consider that. So with that being said, let's go ahead. I'm going to pass it back to Bhavisha and we're going to take your questions. All righty. Thank you,
Tyson. Yes, we had a lot of questions that came in. I believe you answered some of them along the way, but I will go ahead and get started with the first question here. Is this only for Google Ads or can it be for any ads like Facebook ads?
Can the Google AMP be for Google Ads or
No,
Facebook ads?
our Instapage platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Instapage was built to be ad agnostic. It's not only ad agnostic, but it's just any campaign agnostic. Now the Google Admap only works for Google for this the way that those platforms work. So it takes a little bit more time if you're building out for Facebook, but I recommend using the personalization functionality to create relevant segments of your page experiences for Facebook or for other ad platforms and or email and other various campaigns. That way you don't have to create and publish a new page every time. You're just creating a variation of that core page. Again, based on what's unique about that campaign or ad group, and then segmented down to speak to your unique customer types or demographics.
Great, thank you. The next question is, how do you personalize landing pages for dynamic search ads?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. For dynamic search ads, again, the ad is rotating. Now, there's responsive search ads and dynamic search ads. So on dynamic search ads, it's basically just grabbing a URL off your site. And those tend to be really great for informational purposes, right? Like when you just have a blog or you have lots of content and you want Google to just find top of funnel informational stuff. Instapage isn't going to be a great use for that unless you want to publish all these pages, right? You can just publish a whole bunch on your URL, give it to Google. It will find that page and then say, hey, let's match this to a query. You can do that, and it works pretty good. But it works even better if you have intent with your direct response and you match an ad group to that specific page. Now, the responsive search ads where you create a couple headlines, a couple descriptions, that again it's ad group based. So your page should be really focused on the ad group, not specifically necessarily just exactly what that ad said, because the ads should all be relevant to whatever segmentation you're building in your ad group.
Cool. Thank you, Tyson. The next question is, can we personalize landing pages based on device or operating systems?
The best way to do that right now is most of the ad platforms will let you create a specific landing page URL for mobile. So if you wanted to, for example, create a Google AMP page specifically for, or just an AMP page, specifically for mobile traffic, but you wanted to create a different experience for your desktop traffic, you could create those two separate ones. And then in Google Ads or Facebook, you can say for mobile, show this page. That's the best way to do it. We haven't built any functionality right now to make it easy just to detect that automatically. But fortunately, the ad platforms have specific sections for doing that.
Cool. Hopefully soon.
And I will add though that unlike some platforms, you can actually create customizations for your page for mobile that has some different information. So if I was to go here and edit this page, okay, we need to go here and maybe edit the experiment. Okay, which would restart my experiment. And if I go to mobile here, I am able to do things like hide various things. So I might say, you know what, mobile, I have less time. People are a little bit less likely to scroll, so I can like hide some sections to shorten and get to the point. And that's not going to change it here in my desktop view. And we found that is the number one thing that drives increase in conversions for optimizing mobile. Just again, they're scrolling with their thumbs, they're moving fast, they're typically reading social media. And so I want to shorten, get to the point faster rather than someone who is in more investigative mode because they're on desktop. Okay.
Cool. The next question here is this only software or do you provide advice as well?
Totally. Yeah. Fantastic question. So we are one of the only companies to provide success and services in every plan, right? So even on our entry level building plan, we do provide a customer success manager, and we do things like design reviews, right? So we, again, not design for aesthetic purposes, but for conversion centered design. Now you get a lot more robust implementation and page migration services and launch specialists and et cetera, design services with our converting plan. But every plan, unlike anyone that we're aware of, includes services and customer success.
Great, thank you. And we have a bunch of questions here, but I will take this one last question. How customizable are pages? Specifically, can we bring in, upload our own brand fonts? And what about images?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it wouldn't be a good platform if you could not do that. So that's as simple as coming here and just going to your fonts. Now, again, we have not only integrations with Google Fonts, but also Adobe Fonts. And if you do have a completely custom font, we have a backend system where we implement that for you as well. So you can come in here and find your font after we've uploaded to the system. Now, other things like colors and stuff, of course, that's table stakes. You can go in here and modify coloring and do whatever you want to match your brand feel. And that's the nice thing about blocks is when you create a block, it's really about the UX. So you don't have to have a UX designer. But then you're going to want to skin that to match your brand, right? I have my particular font here. So then you can come in here and make that unique to you. So I might have, like, for example, I might do shadows because my images typically have some type of shadowing effect, right? So now I'm going to add a shadow to that. Might be a brand element that I focus on. Cool. We have if you don't have one more question, we do have someone that asked about, do our pages work with e-commerce?
Correct.
Absolutely. So there's this concept called pre-cart click-through landing pages. Okay. And we focus a lot on that. So right here, the 6 most important e-commerce landing page best practices. We have a ton of content on this. So I would recommend to check that out. But absolutely, most people say, again, for direct response, if someone searches something specific or my ad is promoting something specific, I want to create a direct response landing page for that convinces them to buy in a non-commodified way. Now, a lot of people send that to a product page or whatever. Those don't tend to work as well because it feels like a commodified experience. And in a world of Google and in a world of Amazon and other major marketplaces, why should I buy with you? And that's your chance to sell in a way that has narrative about the value of your product or service. And then you could hit add to cart, and it jumps you to your cart, or programmatically takes you to like a page with add more options to cart. But you've now added that to cart, and you've got them to be convinced to stick with your brand and that your brand has unique value in a non-commodified way.
Right. There's one related question which should be quick. For e-commerce, how do you choose CTA? Shop now, email, learn more, etc.
I mean, it just totally depends on the context of your campaign. If you do want to sell your value as a brand and it's a more brand type of funnel campaign, you could say see all products, and once you've pitched your value as a unique brand. Or you could do add to cart if you have a high dollar cost item, like mattresses, etc. A lot of direct response companies like say, hey, we have an item that's $100 or more, up to thousands of dollars. And we just want to get them to just move through that funnel rapidly, quickly, and find exactly what they were searching for or saw on Facebook. They clicked, they read the value, they add to cart, they check out, right? No distractions. Or you could just do, you could really do whatever. And we do have a lot of specific ones for, one thing I'll show really quickly is one of the categories that we focus on when you create new pages is kind of sales pages. So I'm going to do standard landing page, and I'm going to go down here and hit product sales. And we have a lot of refined, proven sales pages that work really, really great for e-commerce, right? For pre-cart click-through. So I'll show that really quick. And just like that, I have a very, very clearly optimized value pitch for whatever product that I'm promoting. There's a whole bunch of different versions for product sales. And this one does have buy now in it.
Great, great. Thanks a lot, Tyson, for that really, really insightful demo. And thank you to the audience for sticking around and asking very interesting questions. If you have further questions, feel free to kind of send them our way through our website. And with that, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And thanks, Bhavisha, for hosting.
Thanks. Bye.